Son Goku, the Saiyan of legend, inspiration to billions, the granddaddy of shonen, and the late great Akira Toriyama's masterclass of tackling life to the fullest. Many see Goku as the peak of self-improvement, and they are incredibly valid too. Seeing this young, chubby monkey boy grow into this godly, jacked fighter has been an enthralling journey to say the least. However, while I've loved Goku since I was in 3rd grade in the 90s and still have so much different Goku stuff in my room to this day, there is something I notice online whenever I see fellow Goku fans go on about how great he is, and one of those things I do find a little bit disingenuous.
Yo dudes and dudettes, your friendly neighbor JaxBlade is back, and this is by no means a Goku diss video in the slightest. I got too much respect for my man, alright? All I'm doing is just adding a little bit of perspective.
Many times people say Goku is the most skilled martial artist ever, and a master of every single fighting style, or that Goku is actually a trash martial artist, and would suck if he had to depend on his hands and no powers. Usually when this image pops up, we gotta stop meeting like this. And while I love gassing my boy up when it is deserved, I feel a lot of times people say those hyperbolic statements and then their personal bias love or their personal bias hate of the character starts to cloud everything, including their memory of the show.
Don't worry, I used to be that way too. There are literally comments on my Facebook page from like 2008 of 17-year-old me having an 8-hour back and forth over stuff like this. Goku's a great fighter, no doubt, but pure martial arts skill-wise, let's break that down.
Now let's preface this. While Dragon Ball is known as the action mystical fighting series that started off as a gag martial arts manga, it is very clear, and Toriyama himself has admitted this, he wasn't thinking that deeply about how many real life actual martial arts skills Goku knows. Even though Journey to the West was its main influence, Dragon Ball was primarily inspired by Hong Kong martial arts films, you know, like OG Jackie Chan films. And then as the series progressed, the characters start to learn stuff like ki techniques and to shoot energy blasts, to fly, to power up, and then to increase their superhuman physicality. Toriyama wasn't thinking Goku should learn stuff like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or Muay Thai. It was basically, he has this base of martial arts, and as the series progresses, he'll improve that base, adding a couple of new strikes and also learn some new superpower-esque techniques and get stronger for his fights. But we'll go further in depth into that as this video progresses. Now, keeping that in mind, the reason I'm looking at Goku fights from a different perspective is because Goku was one of the reasons I got inspired as a teen to take up combat sports to be able to protect myself, and by getting into that, I met a lot of great people from different backgrounds: traditional martial artists, black belts, boxers, wrestlers, MMA fighters, BJJ specialists, military people, and much more.
I am very grateful to all the people who helped me over the years, and while I am not Batman or a UFC level fighting badass by any means, I now have a lot of evaluative experience from training with different people that I can share. Also, I've studied years of various real-life combat matches.
So that makes me look at Goku's fights differently than just a fan who enjoys anime when it comes to analyzing his actual martial arts skills, and by that I mean looking at the technical skill he uses for his moves.
That is different than pure strength and power, even though those can be skills in their own right.
Now, Goku is a genius at combat, and while he is a very skilled fighter, when you go back and look at most of his fights after original Dragon Ball, the majority aren't won with technical martial arts skill or by outskilling his opponent in a battle a la Kengan Ashura style. The majority are won by Goku or a character just being physically stronger and more powerful than someone else, or sometimes jumping a character altogether. Now, some people may think, well, duh, isn't that what all fighting is? Not necessarily. For example, George Foreman was way stronger than Ali, and Ali was able to use skill and wit to close the gap and overcome him with the rope-a-dope technique during the iconic Rumble in the Jungle match. Also, if you watch Baki when he fought Pickle, that was a great showing of skill versus strength and how having a great skill can close a gap of immense power. If you're a really skilled fighter, it is possible to close the gap on someone stronger than you. Demetrius Johnson, aka Mighty Mouse, was one of the best fighters on the planet at 5'3" and 135 pounds, and he was able to beat a 6'3", 250-pound man while grappling.
But the way this series evolved from Ball to Z to Super, it became more about power levels than skill.
Which is funny, because Goku said to Raditz it takes more than brute strength to win a fight, and even during the Cell games, they give the message of just being stronger isn't enough to be a good fighter if you don't have the speed to match, which is great, but when Gohan transformed into Super Saiyan 2, while yes, he increased his speed, he also got much stronger and basically overpowered everyone in his way because he was just much more powerful and much more durable since he could tank a punch from full power Cell. Now, that's not to say Goku isn't intuitive and inventive when it comes to fighting. He's great at mimicking certain moves and thinking thinking on the fly like we saw in the 21st to 23rd martial arts tournaments. Also, when he realized Frieza couldn't sense energy and tricked him with the 2 energy blasts before drop kicking him in the face. Or when fighting Perfect Cell and using his Warp Kamehameha to catch Cell off guard. But post-original Dragon Ball, many times he wasn't able to win 1v1 battles with characters relative to him without using boosters or transforming. Matter of fact, after you finish this video, go check out the Anime Trainer's masterpiece trilogy breakdown of Goku's use of actual martial arts in all of his fights and his win-loss record. The Anime Trainer is a real-life MMA fighter and coach who broke down every style Goku used and how effectively he used it during battle, and looked at every Goku fight from original Dragon Ball all the way to Super. They were a great watch, and tell him Jax sent ya.
But when you look at a lot of Goku's fights back to back, a lot of the times he wins his fights primarily just by bull rushing and being physically stronger, but not being technically more skilled. Since I love using empathetic mindsets to help people better understand concepts, let's use this as an example if you're a teenager or an adult watching this.
Imagine yourself right now fighting an 8-year-old skilled boxer or 8-year-old skilled martial artist black belt. They could potentially be a lot more skilled than you since they have trained longer, but you are a grown-ass adult or teenager and this isn't a movie or fictional TV show. Unless they are built like a young Mike Tyson, you're naturally physically much stronger than them, much more durable than them, and probably faster than them, even if you've never taken a martial arts class in your life. Not saying they can't hurt you, but you could very easily hurt them a lot worse with zero training just because you physically overpower them. But that doesn't mean you're a better technically skilled martial artist than they were.
That's Goku in a lot of his fights, especially after training with King Kai, because that's when characters started to power up consistently. So here's another visual example for y'all.
Imagine 2 kid martial artists with comparable skill. They fight and they seem pretty close, but one kid is steadily closing the gap, getting the edge, finding the other's rhythm, and piecing them up piece by piece. But for some reason, the kid on the losing end can somehow power up and can make themselves as strong and as durable as they would be if they were a teenager or a grown adult. The skill level becomes irrelevant at that point because physically they are so much further ahead that the skill doesn't matter. If one side was losing and then they had to power up to get an advantage, it's not a good showcase of martial arts skill in that case because it shows that they wouldn't have been able to win and overcome their opponent with their skill alone. Now, I also want to specify, I'm not talking about a grown adult lighter weight fighter versus a 260-pound-esque adult, because I broke that down in depth in this video years ago, and the honest to God truth is, that can go either way depending on a multitude of factors, because an adult fighter that knows how to heel hook, head kick, body kick, leg kick, choke you out, arm twisting, wrist locking, punching combinations, and has stamina and durability from years of fighting for years is a completely different beast than a real-life child martial artist who's been studying for years.
So the visual of a child fighting an adult is a more accurate visual representation for this DBZ discussion. And if there's any kids watching this, do not feel bad at all, because like the fact that you started so early means that once puberty hits, you're gonna be a freaking beast, okay? So stay focused, stay consistent, like listen to your coaches and do your best, all right? You are going to be such a beast and I have faith in you. You got this.
Usually Goku fights are very one-sided because he just trains so much he just bull rushes the competition with his physical might. Whenever Goku has to fight someone comparable to him post-original Dragon Ball, more often than not, while he is still a very great fighter, he can't use his base martial arts skills alone to win the fight. He has to use either a power-up like Kaioken or transform and then handle them with his increased strength, speed, power, and durability.
I mentioned this before, but Dragon Ball pretty much turned into let's keep powering up and punch face until one of us drops. And that's, again, I love Z to death. I'm not like dissing it or anything like that. It is just one of those situations, and I completely understand that like if Goku didn't power up, he wouldn't be able to hang with certain people. But then when he's comparable with them, how many times does he actually like seal the fight? Like how many times does he actually win when he is comparable and not just like so much stronger than them?
Hell, imagine yourself in the ring fighting someone comparable to you, and you noticed you couldn't defeat your opponent one-on-one as you are, but you could transform into a heavyweight champion like Mike Tyson or John Bones Jones and then completely decimate them.
Again, this is why original Dragon Ball is my favorite of the franchise, because it was before they were like, you know, powering up every second. And then during the 21st, 22nd, 23rd tournament, they would actually have to be like, okay, some of these characters I can bull rush, but some of these characters I'm kind of comparable to, so how am I going to overcome them? So I just think that was just a lot more engaging to watch.
But that shift to Z and Super changed how Goku fought main antagonists. And I'm not going to go as in-depth as this trilogy, but let's do a quick summary of Goku's main battles, okay? So Goku couldn't do anything to Raditz until he got injured by Gohan, allowing him to put him in a full Nelson and then sacrifice himself. Post-training with King Kai, Goku powers up to meme levels and then overpowers Nappa with his physical might and speed. For Vegeta, Goku powered up with the Kaioken and beat the brakes off him, and Vegeta said, "Oh, you wanna play?" and pulled out a better power-up with his Moon Ball, letting him go into Kaiju mode, and proceeded to beat Goku down, who needed to get saved. For the Ginyu Force, Goku, after getting them gravity chamber gains, was much stronger and faster and easily whooped them with ease by overpowering all of them. Even though Captain Ginyu pulled some slick shit, it was cause he couldn't handle Goku after he powered up. For Frieza, Goku and him seemed to be fighting on equal terms, but it turns out Frieza was holding back. He powers up and beats on Goku for a while, gets Spirit Bomb, comes back, kills his bro, and then the most iconic form in anime is born, sorry Gear 5, and he overpowers Frieza the rest of the fight. Even when Frieza goes, they have this little back and forth for a while, but Goku's new form outlasted Frieza's 100%. Let's skip 19 because Goku was sadly diseased. For Cell, Goku put up one of my personal favorite fights of the entire franchise, but Cell was holding back the entire time, and while Goku went all out, he couldn't finish him permanently, even with that Warp Kamehameha that did so much badass damage. Now, if you want to count some filler, I do love the Otherworld tournament. He did fight Pikkon, and he did technically win with skill, but they both got disqualified. For Yakon, he powered up so much it made Yakon overeat and blow up. For Majin Vegeta, this fight is phenomenal, by the way, and is a pretty equal fight, but at the end of the day, Goku dropped his guard and got knocked out, and like they said in Baki, never, ever drop your guard around an opponent, even if they seem non-hostile. Then he fought Fat Buu, he powered up and just whooped him in Super Saiyan 3 with that godly theme playing. For Super Buu, he could not hang with him at all, and he openly said this. For Kid Buu, he fought what appeared to be equally until his energy ran out, while Kid Buu just had like ungodly levels of stamina, and then he had to get help from all of Earth and Namek, plus a wish to be brought back to full power to help finish him off. For Oob, it was more of a sparring match and not really trying. For Beerus, he tried his absolute best and gave it his all, but just couldn't win the fight. For Frieza, they were doing pretty damn good, and he hit them with that Bruce Lee punch, but then he dropped his guard. For Winnie the Pooh, he dragged him out. For Frost, he lost because he cheated. For Fighting Hit, even though he gave up, he mainly powered up so much just to counter that time stop. For Zamasu and Black Goku, he powered up to Super Saiyan 2, but I'd say he was pretty skilled with how he fought them initially, but later on they powered up and he didn't really win even though he threw hands. He beat up that Wolf dude pretty easily, and for Toppo, he got grappled and had to power up and overpower him. Then he had various sparring matches with the Z Fighters prior to the Tournament of Power, which was fun to watch. Then during the Tournament of Power, literally at the start, Goku gets grappled, almost loses, and cannot get out without powering up. When he fought Caulifla and Kale, it was Def's skill with how he was able to manage them. However, as they improved, he had to power up to new forms to keep fighting, especially when they became Kefla, alright? So he had to still power up and overpower them in the end. For Jiren, this was actually really dope. He had to transform multiple times to see which was comparable to Jiren, and then when he finally did transform, they had the comparable thing till his power ran out, and then at the end, they all had to just basically jump him. And then through the Tournament of Power, he fought like various people, showing like sometimes it's like, okay, I'm just hitting them at the proper moment, sometimes I'm bulldozing, sometimes I have to be smart here. When he fought Broly, he had to use skill at first before he got completely overpowered, and then later had to fuse. Moro, he transformed and overpowered him. When he fought Granola, he powered up, but he still lost. Gas, he could not beat him alone with skill. Black Frieza shows up and one-shots both of them. Lost against Vegeta for a third time, Vegeta 3 for 3. Was fighting Beast Gohan, but got overpowered when Gohan like knocked his ass down and did all this other stuff, even though they were sort of just playing around with each other. So again, I'm excited to see more of that. But we see how often Goku just overpowered people versus outskilling them and overcoming the battle with pure martial arts, which, to be fair, was what the original Turtle Hermit training was all about. He didn't learn martial arts from Roshi directly. His grandpa taught him the Kami-Sennin style, but he was already super strong due to being a Saiyan. The Turtle Hermit training just boosted that because it was about doing daily activities to make yourself superhumanly strong, fast, and durable. And real quick, if you want to train athletically and functionally like Goku and the Saiyans, try my newly upgraded Saiyan Hybrid program in the pinned comment down below. Train strength, speed, agility, flexibility, mobility, conditioning, while building muscle and burning fat to help you become fit like an IRL Saiyan Hybrid. Adding some new stuff to it, and I think you'll enjoy it. Check it out.
And then look at the different masters Goku had and what they taught him.
Traveling the world. Nature is a powerful training tool, and sparring different people helps my skills. Korin said, catch me and your speed and reaction time will go up. Kami and Popo taught him meditation and helped give him stronger opponents to spar. King Kai, again, catch Bubbles and hit Gregory, how to power up, Kaioken, and Spirit Bomb. Then when we see Goku training on his own, he always does resistance training, shadow boxing, and sparring. And then when he was in Otherworld, as much as I'd love if he went and mastered every single style in those 7 Otherworld years like Batman, he did not. You know it, I know it, Toriyama, rest in peace GOAT, knows it as well because he didn't think of it like that. That does not mean he didn't learn a lot, but it was more about superpower-esque techniques like fusion and increasing his power level and then sparring with different opponents where he would like pick up like, oh, I can use this type of strike and kick here, but Toriyama himself wasn't thinking like, oh, he's going to learn like, you know, like how an MMA fighter goes through a camp. Same things with Whis, while also trying to master Ultra Instinct to where it's natural, like how Roshi briefly utilized it. Cause the funny thing, when rereading for this video, the Ultra Instinct Goku uses when he turns into Danny Phantom or when his eyes change color, many people think it's just a technique and not a transformation, but both Whis and Goku both confirm in the manga that it is a transformation and a form that boosts him when he turns into it, and that's why he's trying to master it in base without transforming. But the sparring he's doing is just building off the base he's already had since he was a kid, and just these days utilizing key techniques, powering up in flight, which again, isn't necessarily a bad thing because the series started off as a martial arts gag manga and it became this epic. Toriyama really did not focus on Goku learning various types of martial arts just because his main focus was on Goku consistently getting more powerful. Now the reason I bring all this up and broke it down so meticulously is because while Goku is a skilled fighter, there's certain things where people with real life martial arts experience notice and it's like, oh, he clearly lacks this. While he can do some moves like, you know, when he put Tien in that lock or Raditz in the full Nelson or even the judo throw, he's clearly not the best grappler and has to power up to get out of locks.
Okay, so reading the manga again for this video, and this just made me laugh because like Goku gets grappled by Ginyu because Jace pulls some slick shit, and then his like first thought is like, oh damn, I gotta power up and get out of this bitch because he's gonna break my back, and Ginyu's just like, nah, just let go. It's just like, Goku, you're grappling, bro.
Unless you're a big character that can quickly surround your opponent, grappling in DB is not nearly as important as it is in our world because most characters don't need it. But due to it not being as important, it's not being trained frequently. So that means that most of these characters are still not that skilled in it.
Same way someone could be an MMA champion and someone else could have a... All right, they don't need martial arts in that scenario because they have a weapon to end it fast, but they wouldn't be skilled in using the MMA person's skills. So Goku in a pinch more so relies on brute strength and ki than martial skill.
And even though he utilizes intelligence and skill most times, it's not enough to finish the 1v1 in battle. Okay, majority of the time, if it's comparable skill, Goku ends up losing if he can't power up. And to go back to something like this now infamous image of Goku being nerfed to human level and fighting other human level opponents, yes, there's many better martial artists in fiction, and they've shown that various times in their series, but sometimes people don't understand why. All right, so let's say you are great at striking, punches, kicks, knees, elbows, etc., but you're not adept at grappling, and you go against someone who is adept at striking, but also knows how to grapple insanely well.
That's the game changer we've seen many times in real life.
Like when Demetrius Johnson fought Rod Tang, or John Jones versus Cyril Gane, or even this clip.
I don't think he has it in him to choke me out. How much do you weigh? 125. See, I'm 200 pounds right now. You're not choking me out. Come on. You might want to take your glasses off.
Take your glasses off. Let's see what you got.
I want to see if you got it.
He gonna choke you out? No, you better watch out.
Oh, we take it. All right. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. Oh. Hey. And it's a oh, hey, that was real. Wait a minute.
He straight up got on you like a spider monkey.
Hey, bro, it's fast. Hey, man, that was fast as hell. I wanted to fake that, but that was 100% real. I felt real life danger.
Now, I know people will say, well, Goku will just use bite if he's like, you know, being grappled by an advanced person. But to be honest, that can do more harm to the biter than to the person doing the choking out. And something important to bring up is many will think like, oh, Goku is now the greatest martial artist like ever because like he's the greatest martial artist in his universe at the end of Dragon Ball. But the thing about that a lot of people don't realize is greatest martial artist in Dragon Ball does not carry over to other places. And we can actually see this by looking at past masters in Dragon Ball. All right, for example, Master Roshi, Master Shen, they are known as like legit martial arts masters. Like they are legends and stuff like that. Even their master Mutaito. But the thing about them is they are just so much physically stronger, physically more powerful, physically faster, and just like can overpower so many regular people because they have this superhuman martial art ability, all right? But it's not really due to their skill, like their technical skill and stuff like that for most of them. So for example, Master Roshi as Jackie Chun literally dog walks Man-Wolf, who's like this master black belt and stuff like that, but it wasn't due to, oh, I'm outskilling him. It was due to the fact that like, oh, I'm just way above this guy can't touch me. Like we saw Master Roshi as Jackie Chun have like this blink and you'll miss it fight with Krillin, so he's just like, yeah, I'm just playing around here, like there's nothing to do with that. So that's the thing about Dragon Ball's martial arts, all right? It is just about like building yourself up. It is just about being strong. It's about being durable. It's about being like all this way, but it's not necessarily about like, oh, I'm gonna learn this.
Also, people say Ultra Instinct can't be hit. That's blatantly not true. We've seen both Ultra Instinct Omen and Mastered Ultra Instinct get hit if the person is comparable or above it. It doesn't matter.
But something I cannot stress enough, there's nothing wrong with that.
Goku himself will be legitimately gassed and excited to fight them again in the rematch because he has something new to train, and he'd probably whoop them. I feel some people want Goku to suck at something because they're tired of Goku solos memes, and then some fans want Goku to be the peak at everything, and if he isn't, they feel like they themselves lost at something when that is not the case, and you're misunderstanding what Goku's character is even about. Like I said before, I feel like sometimes people are afraid to admit they were wrong or they lost at something and will go, I'm not a failure, I'm not a loser, I didn't mess up, this is bullshit. But it is okay, because now you have evaluative experience to help you grow. Goku has lost a ton of times, but he is still the GOAT of self-improvement because he takes those losses and generally learns from them, so in his next fight, you see he has improved.
Oh, I bet you beat every strong person you ran into, right, Grandpa?
That's not true. I've been beaten plenty of times.
Huh? Really?
But those experiences made me stronger and motivated me to work even harder.
Oh.
Too many times people become too obstinate to self-reflect or learn from a scenario, and trust me, I have been there, but do not let a fragile ego keep you from bettering yourself in the long run.
Why do you think Vegeta grew so much in Super? Because he finally let people help him instead of training solo like he used to. Realistically, if somehow Goku got choked out or broken from some comparable character with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu grappling, unless the planet's in danger, he wouldn't be upset because there's something new to train in and master. He'd be ecstatic and be like, wow, I guess I've been slacking off in this department, I'm excited to train it.
And that's how you should tackle life if there's something you really want to accomplish. Fall down 7 times, stand up 8. If you're passionate about it, stick with it. If you made it this far in the video, type Goku the Grappler down in the comment section down below and tell me, what is your personal favorite Goku fight? All right, like tell me which one like just like really goes like, okay, I love this one. Like, was it one where he was just like bodying, or was it one where it was like, okay, I don't know if I'm gonna win this? Like, tell me down in the comment section. I'd love to get these discussions going. And don't forget to hit that like button or dislike button if you loved or hated the video, and be sure to hit that bell icon and subscribe. I'm being very consistent with my uploads. Thank you to my patrons, and remember, like I always say, keep calm, booyah on, and don't forget, Momentai. If you haven't learned grappling, go try it. It's actually really fun, all right? Get it.